the end, stay where you are for about 15-20 seconds, just because my cousin Kev, my fire marshal today, is going to put these out to you guys safe. We've got a lot of small children here, and just be careful. This is a very, very dangerous stunt. Here we go.
Only pity given to me, but I can't condone. Talking down to me, I'ma have to crack your nose for cracking jokes. I'm looking for the map to hope. You see, they're making a whole lot of changes. Wrote a song about that, you should play it. I get scared when I walk on the stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious. That's when my thoughts can be dangerous. How about some cheers? That's when I put my makeup and drop it so they can get what I'm saying. Here we go.
Set up, he will also set the landing pattern for the rest of the team. So the way he comes in, the rest of the team will follow. He's got a smaller, more nimble parachute, allowing him to get down quicker and land first. He's setting up, deciding where he needs to start his downwind leg to bring himself down in onto the cross. Here he comes on his downwind leg. Big cheers, call for heavy roll. Cross-through leg, turning down the front risers to pick up speed, cutting through his overage, pulling it down towards the cross. You might be able to see our crew formation, 3 canopies connected together, high above the sea. Our stack pilot will now be giving words of command to his number 2 and his number 3 and setting up in the right direction. But below that we have Last Corporal Kai Fisher on the chain of smoke. Big round of applause for Kai! This is 6 smoke canisters strapped together with a weight on the bottom, built in-house by our parachute riggers. We were the first team to come up with this and use it on display. Big smiles, Kai now assessing what the winds are doing, where he needs to set up before starting his downwind leg towards the tower. Keep the noise levels up! Coming over the crosswind leg, assessing what the smoke's doing, what the wind's doing, before putting it down in the front risers, spinning it out towards the cross. Ladies and gentlemen, Last Corporal Guy Fisher! Back up towards the sky then, we have our crew team. Setting up, they've popped their smoke, they are getting ready to downplane towards the earth. The staff pilot is assessing the wind direction, the drift, and where he needs to put himself. Going down towards the tower now. Get ready. And they're about to downplane towards the earth. Last correction. And there they go! Downplaning towards the earth at speeds of over 70 miles per hour. Section of the drum goes for landing, keeping safe separation. First aid, our stack pilot. Last Corporal Rifle, and Last Corporal on the hooks. Next up, our team camera round, pulling down the front risers towards the cross. Ladies and gentlemen, Corporal Captain Car. And last but not least, our 7,000 square foot Union flag. All the equipment to build this was built in-house. It is jumped on a tandem parachute, as I said before, 90 kilograms of weight, and the largest flag frequently landed by any parachute species in the world. He's assessing now what the smoke's doing, what the winds are doing, setting up. Big round of applause as he comes over the pier. Setting up for his downwind, going round above the cross. Ladies and gentlemen, our team leader, Corporal Oliver. the aircraft up another fast loop, another 90 at the top of this. 9 times his body weight pushing down on him. He's got to watch his gate speed at the top of that, he sends back down to earth. He's got to slam those doors into the factory. So he's back on 600 miles an hour. 600 miles an hour, 500 feet. Towards the crowd, 500 miles an hour, execute a high G barrel roll in maximum reheat. Going to roll the aircraft slow in a barrel roll. High alpha, nose pitching up. If you've got binoculars, have a look at the floor planes at the front. You'll see them moving very, very fast. The fly-by-wire system making sure the aircraft doesn't stall. Just over 300 miles an hour. Pulling it back to a minimum speed of 130 miles an hour now. Now once full reheat, you'll hear it before you see it. And it'll just power the aircraft away from that slow speed. Just punching up into the sky. He's going to come down, he's going to punch the aircraft into full reheat and come past us at 700 miles an hour. Zooming up to 10,000 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Air Force. And then they're going to come running in from the right-hand side. But also it means that when they depart, they're going to come towards us and then go to the left and go back to Blackpool Airport. So I'm 98% sure this is the last pass as they come. Oh, it's nice. On the axis. On the 45. Cameras at the ready. They're going to come and they're going to fly right over the top of you. The Spitfire and Hurricane will break and the Dakota will fly over the top of you. So it's an overflight, not a pass. today's display with that unmistakable sound, the Merlin engine and the graceful elliptical wings that made Orde Mitchell's design famous around the world, more than 80 years after the Spitfire first entered service. Aircraft like this continue to inspire audiences of all ages. These aircraft are a flying reminder to us not only of the engineering brilliance of the era, but also the courage of the men and the women who built these aircraft, maintained them, and flew them in those remarkable machines. I hope you don't think I'm skiving off work, but who'd want to talk over this? going to turn, roll the aircraft around. You want to get it back down. Speed building up. And as I said, it's a swap between height and speed. You can see what I mean by it's a big aircraft, even from the underside. It's very chunky in the middle. But now time for slow roll. Bringing the aircraft around. Beautifully executed. You saw at the top of that roll as he was inverted. He's already pitching the aircraft down, regaining speed, getting the airplane back over the wing. I guarantee you the one thing that he's looking at all the way through that maneuver is his airspeed. Airspeed and height. They're the most two important instruments in that aircraft. A bit of a faster roll there, top. Some of history's most famous aircraft, and today's display not just simply about aerobatics, it's a tribute to the machine and taught generations of military pilots the art of flying. So your very own local Blackpool Harbour John Hurley controls for the final time today at the Blackpool 2026 Air Show. And there we go, for the first time, snap rolling the aircraft coming down straight towards us. This aircraft is cleared to plus or minus 10 G. That's more than an F-16. Now you get to see what I mean by the roll rate. Now watch as he pitches the aircraft up into the vertical. He's going to pull back on the power as he comes up into the top, rolling the aircraft up, then push the nose forward. And then a flat spin, coming back into his own smoke, tumbling all the way down, spinning all the way around. Steve absolutely loading his G. Now he straightens the aircraft out. After that snap roll, pulls hard back. With that massive G loading of 10 plus and minus, the aircraft, or the pilot, is actually not sitting up straight. He's sort of lying back at about 30 degrees inside the cockpit, and that helps to dissipate the G load across his body. And he's going to need all the help he can. Watch as he comes running in now from the right. 5 degrees up. Slow roll, and then speed it up again. There's zero parasitic drag on it. This aircraft was designed and built by Philipp Steinbach in Germany. And he's moved over to the US now. He's built the Gamebird, which is very similar to that. As I said, Steve's a local boy, husband and a dad. He lives in Manchester, but his aircraft's actually based out of Blackpool. He's an experienced competitor, competing in unlimited category, but new to the display circuit. And we've got to say special congratulations to Steve, because he won 2 weeks ago the current British National Aerobatic Championship in the unlimited category. And he's now 3 times British National Champion at Advanced Aerobatics, and you can see why. Positive G is definitely preferable to negative G. Now he's gained some height, you can see, again, comparing it to the Harbour, it's not fair. We can see how quickly you can get up to height and snap roll the aircraft back down, coming straight into us at the top, right back into the vertical. And again, he's not running out of steam as he goes vertical. He can keep going vertical if he wants to. He's pulling back on the power, trying to make the aircraft stall, and then wing over at the top. Just a boot for the rudder, and then roll got a sideways spin, not like a flat spin. He's rolling on his side, so a combination of aileron and rudder to control it. Now once you pitches the aircraft back up, snap rolling, still climbing as he snap rolls the aircraft to the top, and then inverted brings it back down. The Lycoming 580 from a family of Lycoming engines. They're like the Ford Escort engines of the world. Everybody knows them, parts are very easy to get hold of. Every mechanic worth his salt will have worked on a Lycoming engine before, so they're pretty bulletproof. Flat 6 engine like a Porsche Boxster. Once he comes back in on the 45. Pitching the aircraft up. Now these aircraft can come in 2 seats. So if you ever wanted to, get yourself to 10G, have a word with Steve. Now into the vertical. Pulling back on the power, letting the aircraft bleed the airspeed. Now watch as he holds it with the prop, lets it fall back onto its old tail, and flips the aircraft on its back. Upside down, floating the aircraft down, then powers up and pulls back around again, pulling negative G. And there he goes with a prop hang, just tickling the power, making it act like a helicopter before he gives it a boot full of rudder, turns the aircraft around, gets the airflow back over the wing, and back into forward flight. It's a combination of footwork, your hands, because the control column is actually, it's the old style, it's coming up between these legs, a big control column, and a lot of these maneuvers, you actually need both hands on that control column. You can't do it with a single arm because you're pulling so much G. As I said, the control surfaces are so big. Again, no pneumatic assistance, no fly-by-wire, it's all cables and control surfaces, so you need to be super fit, not just with the 9G and the 10G loading on your body, but to actually move the aircraft physically you have to be in top condition. And look at that, beautiful slow roll. It's got a torque roll going. Sometimes you can get that going with just the rotation of the aircraft with the propeller. Give that little torque roll at the top, and you just let the aircraft do its thing, and it will rotate around the torque feeding off the propeller. So, coming in for the last and final time with the Extreme Air XA41. And an aircraft that never fails to capture the imagination of audiences wherever it appears. In its descent. Well, the autogyro works on exactly the same principle. As it moves forward through the air, airflow passes upwards and through that rotor disc. And that airflow causes the blades to spin naturally. And that is known as auto-rotation. So the engine noise here, that's actually powering the propeller at the rear of the aircraft. And that's what's pushing motor watching it stall. The gyroplane cannot stall in the same way. The engine stops. No problem. Still got that spinning disc at the top. Peter's waving, Tim will wave back. No hands on the controls. Shows how stable it is. Both hands off the controls, just steering it with his feet. 50 miles per hour as they rotate. That means they can smooth out the turbos and help stabilize the aircraft. Is one of the most experienced motor gyro pilots in the world, I would say. He's a qualified gyroplane flying instructor and an instructor of instructors. So he's responsible for helping train and mentor future gyroplane pilots. He was awarded the gyroplane display authorization in 1991. Later became a display authorized evaluator in 2012. One of a select group trusted to assess and maintain display standards within the gyroplane community. And because it's so maneuverable, and as I said, it shows those characteristics of a helicopter, so in the event of any problems, you can see the aircraft will be able to auto-rotate very easily down onto the beach in front of us, so that means we can approach it a little bit closer. He's actually authorized to be as close as 50 meters from the crowd line and as low as 100 feet. And you can see that auto rotation now as it comes down. If you've done any helicopter training, you'll recognize that. You're just using the energy stored in... And everybody's been blowing up my Instagram. Yes, it was Little Nelly from James Bond film Enjoying It in Flight. You can get me on Airshow Joe on Instagram if you want to send in a greeting to your friends and family. Power comes from 115 horsepower turbocharged Rotax 914 engine. And there goes Peter with his big hand waving us goodbye. Calidus will comfortably cruise at 100 miles per hour. Maximum speed, if you really want to cut on the cold, is about 120 miles an hour. And a formation loop. Hard to do with different types of aircraft. Especially the bigger one, that'll be slightly slower at the top. Tom is also associated with the display direction and airfield operations at Duxford.
সালাম একটা প্রোগ্রামে আসছি আপনারা ফোন দিতে পারি নাই মানুষজন দেখেন তাহলে বুঝতে পারবেন আর এখানে ওই যে দেখেন প্লেনের ইয়া দেখাচ্ছে প্লেন দিয়ে খেলা হয়েছে দেখেন দেখতেছেন বাইক ওই আপনারা দেখার লেগে ওই
Last night in Bar, he's the owner of the aircraft. 9-cylinder air-cooled radial. That's 360 horsepower, which is a lot of power for an aircraft its size. You can actually get an uprated version, have uprated engines on it as well. Get ready for the brake. And as you can see, it is fully aerobatic.
Look at the boat!
Aerobatic limits, you can do 6.5 positive G and just over 3 negative G. And unlike the Yak 52, you'll see that the undercarriage completely retracts. It's got a tricycle arrangement, so it's not a tail dragger. And the propeller is a variable pitch, normally a 2-bladed, which it is here. Nice slow roll. tandem cockpit.
ওই যে মা ওই যে
Clearly, very responsive handling. Very nice slow roll. Entering down. Sits left. Now the active two very different beasts. Crew of two, teams in tandem. 9-cylinder radial engine, 360 horsepower. A lot more aerobatic. +7 and -5G. The undercarriage is pneumatically operated in a semi-retractable tricycle arrangement. And the system uses compressed air that operates the starter, the landing gear and the brakes. And the first thing you learn when you're flying active 2s, don't touch the brakes. Because you've got one canister of air, and once you've run out of that canister of air, then you've got no more brakes. So these aircraft became hugely popular in the West. Lots of them were brought up from Romania and from the Soviet Union and shipped to not just the UK, throughout Europe, very popular in America as well. And they're designed and still introduced pilots to military style flying. As you can see, Alex and Tom sit in their tandem cockpits one. Normally the pilot in control in front. That's not normal. You can't normally do that in a big special. To be able to just get to the top, turn right and go across.
The jet engines are so thirsty, they will use 60 litres of fuel in 10 minutes. Along with the 10 to 20 litres of smoke oil that we will be using and 20 litres of petrol for the petrol engine, the aircraft will lose a considerable amount of its weight during the display. So these early parts of the display, the aircraft becomes far more manoeuvrable towards the end of the display.
So roll rate as well over 400 degrees a second in the roll. And there's that horrible inverted pass. This is when you find that pen that you dropped. It just pops in front of you in the canopy.
And this is where those ratchet straps really come to effect as well. He's hanging in those straps. And Richard doesn't have a G-suit either. So again, the extra and this pit special, they don't have G-suits like many of the modern jet engines. He's feeling every one of those G's that go through his body.
Is the seat canted back? Right, he's not sitting straight up, is he? He's sort of lying back by 10-15 degrees.
If you were standing in the aircraft, then indeed when you pull G to the sort of levels that this aircraft is capable of, then all the blood would go to your feet and you would black out.
It just sounds so weird, hearing that jet engine and there's a pit in front of you. It's like your brain is saying, no, that's not right.
But again, the idea was there are plenty of aerobatic aircraft, but we wanted to bring something special to the airshow scene. And so we had to bring something unique, and I believe the development 4 years to build this aircraft and develop the jet engines, and I believe we brought something unique. And here's another unique manoeuvre. I can inform you that there are 140 shopping days to Christmas. And so today we're going to try and create a Christmas tree in the sky. So Richard has now started the base of the tree, and it's going to climb and climb and climb and become the star at the top of the tree. And then he'll do a flat spin down through the centre of the smoke, which creates the trunk of the tree. But not many aircraft can do manoeuvres ascending. And it's not easy to come to a stop with a powered aircraft. He was doing 140 knots, kilometres an hour, and now there's the flat spin, which creates the trunk of the Christmas tree, with 140 shopping days to go.
Don't spend too much money on me this year, Colin, alright? I'm okay.
With no wind, it's a fantastic sight. Today, not too bad. If there's 20 knots of wind, we sort of create a Christmas bush rather than a tree. It just blows the smoke away.
It's more like an igloo.
But now the aircraft is a lot lighter already, and now we can start some of the hovering manoeuvres.
Now some of the manoeuvres that Richard does, I genuinely don't know what to call them. I mean, I'm pretty good at calling out aerobatic manoeuvres, but...
Well, hopefully we'll use differential thrust here to create a stall turn with 2 turns in. Most aircraft can do 1. This aircraft can do 2. Here we go. Here there's 1. And there's 2. Is he going for 3? No, just the 2.
You cannot do that in a normal pit. He's using just one side of thrust, is he?
Indeed, we can control the jet engines. There's one on the left, one on the right. So that was full right thrust, full left rudder, full right thrust to create that manoeuvre. Is going from 140 knots, which is virtually the V-in of the aircraft, to bring the aircraft to a halt to do a hover manoeuvre. It's not actually to bring an aircraft to stop in the air, but this is what we'll try and do next.
Jet engines come back on now. How much time have you got that you can use the jets in one display in total?
They're so thirsty, we have about 10 minutes of fuel on board.
10 minutes. Not normal. Kids shouldn't be able to do that. You can get a prop hang for a little bit going, but to be able to just power away from it like that, that's unique. Uses the combination of the turbojet and the propeller, because he was using the torque from the propeller to get the aircraft to rotate around.
This isn't a helicopter. A helicopter has a tail rotor to counteract the torque of the propeller on top of the helicopter. We have a big propeller on the top of this aircraft, but no tail rotor to stop it rotating. So when you come to the hover, the aircraft wants to rotate in the opposite direction of the main piston propeller. And there's nothing you can do about it. So now the aircraft is getting very low on fuel, and now we can do it really is such a difference between the beginning of the display and the end of the display.
So you clearly don't take off with full tanks. What's your sort of fuel load once you're taking off for a display?
Oh no, they're full tanks.
They are full tanks.
60 litres, and we'll use it all in the 10 minutes.
Wow.
So there's 3 more manoeuvres. Hopefully Richard will do another knife edge, and then we'll do another hover, and then we'll do a power climb. So let's see what he intends to do. It took 4 years to develop the aircraft, and we are honestly so proud. We took the aircraft all over Europe. Many people want to see it. We've created something unique, and we're just so happy with what we can bring you here today.
I'm trying to get him to come to America with us next year. Let's see if we can get it over there. So you think it's taken 4 years to get to this stage?
After the engine, so no, there's still more development. There's always development, and every time we fly the plane, something new happens, or we can think of something better to do. So I think here comes a final knife edge manoeuvre. Richard can see you, so if you want to give him a wave, while his hands on the controls, he can still look to the audience, so give him a big wave as he passes by. Changed his routine slightly, I'm not quite sure.
Gates. All of these aircraft were built outside of a factory. That's why the aircraft are all very different. They clearly share a same. Also the Lycoming engine on board. The origin of Raven is a play on the letters from the aircraft, the ORV, taken from the BAM family of aircraft. Rick Wilson, he began flying gliders and grew up around aerobatic aircraft at air shows. Originally worked as an engineer on corporate jets before becoming a professional pilot. Flying career includes the Saab 340, Airbus 320 and Breyer Phenom 300. Now coming back in from the right, the main body, led by Raven 3, Peter Wells. More than 6,000 hours reportedly on tailwheel aircraft. Peter went solo on his 16th birthday. And he built an American-designed, amateur-built aircraft that was created by the Vans Aircraft Company. It's supplied as a kit. It is a seriously high-performance airplane rather than a simple recreation machine. And builders assemble this aluminium airframe, and they can select the engine, propeller, avionics and internal equipment. That's why they all differ. Aircraft Association back in Oshkosh in '95. It was a huge success And as you can see, even when they join up together, they're not very large aircraft. Wingspan of 23 feet and a length of just 21 feet. It's 5 feet 7 inches high. Now watch as the aircraft come together in formation. Get your cameras ready as they call out. The maneuvers. Watch as we come in for an opposition pass. Look on. For such a small aircraft, it has a very impressive G range, +6, -3G, and a range up to 780 miles, and a 75% cruise rating. That means the aircraft were able to fly in from Swansea today. Break, go, go. So 1 and 2 coming back in. Team leader Raven 1, Simon Sidshow at the controls. Being joined by Patrick Wilson. Good formation loop and heading out to the right. Looking out to my right, I think I can see Raven 3. You can hear the constant stream of instructions coming from the team leader. Now we'll look straight ahead again as 1 and 2 come screaming back in. Now this looks suspiciously like to me the start of a heart. Not too much wind today, so coming from the right is the arrow as it goes through the heart. That's a very good heart. That's hard to go. Sometimes they end up looking like kidneys. Yeah, so that's a very good heart. Well done, Team Raven. Pitching up. So you'll notice all 3 of them called the brakes, even the one who was at the end. And that's not so much for his enjoyment, it's because his other teammates want to know that he's made that maneuver before they start coming back down. So even though it seems a bit superfluous, it's important that the whole team know what everybody's doing at any one time. Raven 6, Mark Southern. And a lovely spiral. So as I said, look on top of the wing, you can see the girls are actually sort of canted at 45 degrees. That's the rig working for them. Dave Farrell is flying the lead aircraft. He's done around 5,000 hours, done over. Well, Emma joined the profession in 2021. She's a professional dance background. And those graceful positions that we see them in, carefully called. Now let's listen for Dave calling out the maneuver. That G-force is going straight down their spines. So now the girls are laying side on at 90 degrees. Good crossover. So again, the aircraft are going to turn around, head back for a rejoin as they come in for an opposition pass, and then they'll join us together. Watch out for more handstands. The wing walkers moving around the aircraft, and that dramatic leading edge goose pass. It's a combination of aviation, teamwork and physical strength, bringing the spirit of the great wing walking teams, the barnstorming at the modern air show audience. Right, now like I said, if you've got binoculars, keep an eye on the ladies on the top. Very shortly, they're going to do the unthinkable and start unstrapping themselves.
This trip cost him more and more.
Now Brian slots in behind Dave. He's going to keep exactly the right spacing between them. Now you can see the girls have dismounted from the actual rig on top, and they are sitting on the front wing. There's not enough money in the world that would make me do that. Looks to me like they climbed back up into the rig. That's new. Oh, I see. They're just hanging on to the rig. They're not strapped into it. That's why you can see them side on. So basically they're just holding on to the pole and waving at you. They've got one foot down on the top of the fuselage as they head out to the right hand side. As they come back around, they are waving furiously. And they've grabbed their ankle and they've got it behind their head. Look at that. There's a name for that, and I can't remember what it is in the dance moves. Fantastic display.